Welcome everybody to the Latte podcast and a very special edition for the single ladies. Now it's time to stop scrolling as your perfect match might not be on those dating apps. It may be a beautiful home, and one lady that can help make it happen is Siobhan, owner of Keevelia Mortgages, who's here to spill the tea on what you need to know to get a mortgage. Now, thanks for coming on, Siobhan. And fun fact, Siobhan and I used to go to school together. So I am as keen to find out what she's been up to as you are. So, girl, tell me about your journey into property.
Well, I got a keen interest in property when I bought my own house, and the process, and just thought it sounded like something I could do. And I had a young family at the time and wanted a job where I could sort of juggle family life and sort of self-employed and have some autonomy over what I was doing. And that was around 9 years ago. And from
9 years?
yeah,
Well, let's just hold up and
yeah,
stop right there. 9 years, that's a long time.
yeah.
And it feels like that's just gone so quickly.
It really has, but in that time, the business has grown. You know, it was just me kind of on a desk in my corner of my lounge when I first started. And now we have a beautiful conversion office at home, which was the garage that we converted. And I now have two other members of staff. So the team is growing, the business is growing. So yeah, it's been a quick 9 years, but it's gone from strength to strength.
I have to say, like, having watched you on social media over the years, I really got a sense that you found your passion.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, you'd be my go-to for
Thank
a
you.
mortgage. I sense that about you, though. It's like, you know, you just feel that you've found your
I like to be
passion.
relatable to people, and I think one of the things in finance is that it is a very heavily male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
And I think to have women breaking through into that, and in a lot of our experiences, even with couples, the women are the ones that I speak to. The husband, you know, the women are the one who know the finances, that are looking for the options, and they're the ones that I'm actually speaking to a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I think to have somebody that's a woman that's relatable to that, I think it really helps.
Yeah, it's the whole topic of finance, especially like finance in a home. I feel like it is something that's quite intimidating.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about you is you tend to like. I explain Siobhan as like a cup of Yorkshire tea. She just keeps you calm. It's like you break everything down quite simply, and you know, it's not as hard as what you think it is. And coming on to that, so the first question I have for you is obviously being single is tough enough as it is. So what do you think are some of the specific challenges of getting a mortgage when you're single?
The biggest challenge when you're single is that you have only got one income coming in. So your affordability is dependent on you only. And I think that's probably the biggest challenge when you're single or on your own looking to buy a property. But it's a challenge, it's not impossible. And I think that's the key to remember, is that it is achievable with the right guidance. And there are plenty of incentives out there for people. Mortgage lenders have their own criteria around things that they can do to boost your affordability. So yeah, the key takeaway is it's difficult but not impossible.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a lot of people just kind of like write themselves off as single. It's like they're not going to be able to get a mortgage. And I love the fact that you're saying, hey, that's not true. Like you need to actually just speak to somebody who knows the biz and can help you get your foot on the ladder. Another thing that like a lot of my single friends tend to say, like, that I guess they're scared of applying for a mortgage is because they have a bad credit history, spending too much money on shoes instead of sensible things. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So would you say that having a bad credit history can affect your chances of getting a mortgage?
A mortgage lender will take a pragmatic approach to your credit history. So if you've had 1 month where you have life's got in the way, you've missed a payment on your credit card, and it's just once, the mortgage lender will see that and realise it's a human error. What they're looking for is patterns. So if you've got a pattern of missed payments or you've defaulted on a credit arrangement, then that builds up a picture of maybe something else is going on. That again doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get a mortgage. It will maybe rule out high street lenders, but there are hundreds of mortgage lenders out there. And my job, I'm an adverse credit specialist, is that I find the mortgage lender that meets your circumstances. So bad credit, again, doesn't make it impossible to get a mortgage. It makes it a little bit harder, but that's what a mortgage broker is here to help you with.
That is really reassuring to know. So everyone out there who's living their best Carrie Bradshaw life, splurging on shoes like no one's business, there is still hope for us all. So no, and speaking of hope, so what tips would you have for any single people out there that just want to get started? They want to get ahead, obviously, but what insider tips would you have for any single people thinking about going through the mortgage application process?
First of all, I think it's important that you find out what your affordability is, because a lot of people will immediately think, well, I don't earn enough, or I've got this going on, or my credit history's bad, so they think
Those horrible voices in their head.
100%, and they'll think it's completely unachievable. Whereas we've helped so many people realise that their dreams of property ownership are just in front of them. And that's by speaking to a broker. We assess the affordability. We kind of provide the steps that you need to get mortgage ready. We actually have a brand new quiz that is being released on our website next week, I believe, which is a mortgage readiness quiz.
Amazing.
Which is available for anyone to take, and it will give you an idea on how mortgage ready you are, and it will give you some tips on what you need to do if you're not quite there. And yeah, just speak to a broker. This is what we do day in, day out. But the first thing I would say is absolutely get your affordability correct. You can do that online. You know, most lenders will have an online calculator that you can do, but really a broker will be able to give you more of an accurate figure. So
I love that. And speaking of brokers, for more support on your mortgage journey, how would people get in touch with you? What's the best place?
So best place is to follow us on socials. We are active across all social platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, even TikTok. It's Keevelia Mortgage Solutions. You can always reach us out on our website as well.
We will be sharing in the comments as well.
Thank you. Yeah, so reach out to us on socials. We love to have interactions on socials, absolutely.
And she's great on Instagram. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, and thanks, Siobhan, for coming on today. So if anyone has any questions, do drop them in the comments, do like and subscribe, and join us next week where we'll be pulling a lawyer for a chat on everything you need to know about buying at auction. Have a great day.
Bye.